Hey everyone, this is Dr. Julie Quinn, and I'd like to introduce you to Module 2. This is the Introduction to College Reading and Writing. So you can see in our module, I've got it up on Student View, so this should be exactly how you see it on your end. And you'll notice that this is the Welcome to College Comp. We're going to take a look at this overview. We'll take a look at the double entry summary and reflection log, and you've got a discussion this week. And you do have some grammar activities and quizzes. So what you'll notice if you go back and look at the feedback, I've responded to everybody that's posted in the 1-3, the Module 1 discussion about who we are, and I've not given any grammar feedback. I don't do that publicly generally because I find that students tend to overly focus on grammar and not focus so much on the content within, right? So these grammar connection activities are that EDE 11 section of our class where you get a chance to practice correct capitalization and sort of those rules for correct capitalization, for example, right down here. I'm actually just starting with grammar and then we'll move into the section. We capitalize the first letter of a sentence. We capitalize acronyms usually. We capitalize proper nouns as well, and like titles of articles. And there are ways and reasons to capitalize certain words and not. One of my favorite websites that I'm going to go to it is called capitalizemytitle.com. This is a website that if you have a title for like, you're borrowing some research, you want to say in the article or in the book to whom the bell tolls, for whom. That's a book by Hemingway, right? It will tell you which words get capitalized. Usually it's first and last. And it's really any other word that appears in the middle, as long as it's not an article like a, and the, a preposition or a conjunction. But instead of having to memorize those rules, you can use capitalizemytitle.com to help you do that. Okay? So you could take a look at that, and you can also take a look at the activity for practicing using commas. Now, I always tell students, commas are about verbal pauses. Sometimes in shorter sentences, they may be subjective. You may not need a comma. But if you have a longer, more complex sentence, or you're connecting two sentences together with a conjunction, a word like and, or but, or yet, something like that, then often with those compound sentences, we do use commas. But it's about the sound. And so maybe 85% of the time, you can figure out a comma use just by reading the text out loud to yourself and going a little bit slower, just to make sure that you exaggerate the text. But where you would naturally want to pause a little bit, perhaps that's a place for a comma. So practice these two activities because these are elements that affect an academic writer's precision, right? We want readers to get into the ideas and into the reflection of critical thinking in the bigger papers that we're going to be writing in this class. And you don't want lack of capitalization, like text speaking and text writing, and lack of proper punctuation to interfere with your message. That's why this is important. The way I'm going to give you feedback on this is I'm going to take a look at obviously the quiz and give you advice and support, but I'm also going to go in and give you feedback on your assignments, the major assignments, the writing assignments. And if I notice something, I'm going to give you feedback on that text. I think even more so than activities and quizzes, you'll find that feedback in the margins of your actual writing. You get to see your own habits outside of like an artificial quiz. And so that's where you're going to get engagement for me at the EDE 11 level. Okay, so as far as the rest of the week, the Module 1 overview is this Introduction to College Reading and Writing. We're going to practice active reading techniques, picking out main ideas, being able to summarize and articulate arguments about what we read. Those are the things that are important this week. So one of the major activities you're going to have in this assignment, note you have some reading to do. This will take you probably a couple of days, right? You don't have a major writing assignment, but you're going to practice this sort of double entry summary and reflection log. You're going to read Madman, Architect, Carpenter, Judge, the rules of the writing process, and the writing process. You're going to read these two links. The next you're going to see is 6 reading habits from Harvard, and you're going to take a look at chapter 1.1 in Writing for Success. This is one day, and maybe this is your second day. Then on the third day, you can look at this double entry reflection log, follow these directions. This is part of what we're going to be doing. Go to the upper left of page, click File, make a copy, OK. And so that's something you're going to want to do. And you're going to want to save these files. You're going to write a brief summary of the points of an article. And you're going to do this for the 3 articles that you have read, which would be Madman Architect, The Writing Process, and Reading Habits, 6 Reading Habits. What it says is a summary, and what you think is you're being analytical, talking about the qualities. It's a strong text. It's a weak text. It's not in-depth enough. It doesn't have enough research. However you feel about it. So we're practicing. This is called annotation. The idea behind this is to read more deeply than superficial reading. And this really does require you to move beyond reading on your phone. So please, if you've ever struggled in a reading or a writing class, part of it could be that you're skimming, and this is forcing us to slow down and write to reflect or write to knowledge. So that's what this exercise is about. And if anyone has any questions on this, I'm available. I'm absolutely 100% available for conferences, to work with you, to share our screens in a Zoom, to have you download it and help you start filling some of these out. These entries, to make sure that you're going on the right path. So even though this is a Nova online class, I'm available this week to give you support. Then 2.3 is a discussion, and 2.4 is your response to the discussion. It has 2 parts, your post and your peer response. Okay. Develop 2 paragraphs. These are big paragraphs if they're about 250 words. So that's a nice chunk of almost a page. But you're practicing writing with depth. And one of the videos I'm also going to post this week is about the shape of a paragraph, to get you to sort of think about how you can design paragraphs that I think will help you move into writing body paragraphs for essays to come. Okay, and you can also see the rubric review here. Then we've got these activities. You'll study capitalization. There are going to be some handouts in here with these directions for commas and for capitalization. And at the bottom of this video, I'll also post my favorite website, capitalizemytitle.com. So we're practicing deeper reading and writing in response to that reading. And then you're going to do a discussion where you sort of see what your classmates worked on, and you get a chance to respond to them too. So that's what's happening this week. You do have a lot of reading. This is, remember, a 6-hour-a-week class. I imagine the readings altogether will be an hour or 2, but then you have to sort of start to respond and do the grammar practice, maybe conference with me if you need that. And I really look forward to working with all of you. So if you have any questions based on anything that you see with Module 2, all you have to do is reach out and let me know.